I noticed that this man is fishing late at night alone in September with a net.
Oh, how did the text explain my question?
No.
What do I notice? I noticed that one part on page 43 near the end of the story, the man, he like escapes from the rope when he's struggling, and it says right here, he hears a strange noise and realizes that it was himself sobbing. And I noticed that he didn't hear himself sobbing because I'm assuming that he was just like so happy that he escaped, or not really paying attention to anything else other than the fact that he's alive.
I have something to add to that. So you're saying that you think he was crying because it was something like weird he experienced or different?
I'm saying that he just realized that it was the sound himself sobbing because he wasn't really paying attention to the fact that he was sobbing. He was paying attention to the fact that he just like got released from the rope and he didn't die because he thought he was going to die.
Oh, so just all the relief?
Yeah, all the relief.
I was thinking more like he was crying because, well, from the way he's described in the story, he seems like he's a man who like kind of always kind of has everything controlled around him, and he like never cries. So maybe crying was a strange noise to him because that was something he doesn't do.
Oh yeah.
Much. So it could. I don't know.
Yeah, what do we want to know?
Did you notice anything, Chesney?
Yeah, we want to know why he let the fish go at the end. Like, what does that sort of symbolize about his character and what he went through? Okay, how does the text answer explain the question?
Well, it says here in the book, now at last he knew how the fish must feel when the line tightens and drags him towards the alien element that is his doom. So I think when the stingray was dragging him through the water and he's like struggling for his life, that he realizes that that's how the fish must feel. And then so he decides to let the fish go because now he's experienced what they go through.
Yeah. But what page is that on?
39.
So you're saying that the way he sort of feels like what other fish go through. So like he sort of actually no, scratch that.
We can't scratch that.
I don't really know what I'm trying to say, but I understand what you're saying.
I'll say it.
Okay, you can say it.
So you're trying to say that he let the fish go because he doesn't want to feel the way the fish did. Like he can sympathize with the fish, and I guess he somewhat feels bad. Kind of, yeah.
I think that's like all human beings too, though, because many people, they do all these things and they don't realize that they're hurting other people until that same thing happens to them, and then they understand. So maybe it's kind of like karma.
Or maybe it's just like a natural occurring thing. That's just like a way of humans to learn, maybe. That's how we learn, through our own experience.
Okay, where else do I see examples of people behaving and reacting for the same reasons? Okay.
Where did the idea that we're superior come from again? That the cigarette?
Oh, there was a quote here. There was no conscious cruelty in the way he felt about hunting, it's saying. And so he's not aware of he says that he just likes hunting and killing and he just kind of hunting animals and that, and
he does it like a lot.
Yeah,
he says he does it often.
So, and he doesn't realize like how kind of like how that's a cruel thing to do.
But now that he went through it, he sort of realized like, how bad it is.
Yeah, he learned how bad.
We see examples of this sort of behavior, like even in like our world, like with dictatorships or something, when one person like when people think like they're smarter or greater than the rest or a different kind of species such as animals, so we take advantage of that, and like Amarpreet said, we don't realize like what we're doing is wrong until we go through and experience it.
Okay, so our question is why human beings think they're superior than others?
Yeah. So far, we've talked about how like humans sympathize with others, even animals, like from the way they treat them. Like if they treat them in a bad way, and if karma I guess comes back to them, they'll learn not to behave that way anymore because they know how the other person or animal I guess feels.
So you're saying that once a person goes through the same experience as the people they've been hurting, they understand how the person they're hurting feels like?
Yeah.
Why do people behave that way? Do you have anything to add from that you read so far?
Why do people behave like they think they're greater than others?
Why do people think they're better than others?
Probably kind of like a self-confidence thing. I think people behave like they're better than others for like more self-confidence. Just my personal thoughts.
So you're saying that people, since they think they're better than others, or they want to make themselves appear better than others, so that's why they want to make themselves higher than others, appear higher.
I also think that it's kind of natural for people to think that, because if somebody like reads a book and another person doesn't, they might think they're better than somebody else because they read the book, although the other person didn't. They might think they're more like smart or like knowledgeable, I guess.
Well, you know, it also says in the book, it says when he's thinking about how he can escape, it says that like he would have to use the one faculty that carried man to his preeminence above all beasts, the faculty of reason. So maybe like the reason he thinks he's better than all others is because he can use his brain, and then that's why human beings think they're better than other animals.
Oh yeah.
So you're saying that since he thinks he's smarter than the species, or he can use like their actual brain, that's why humans think they're better than others.
Yeah.
And, like animals, for example.
Even within humans.
Yeah.
Some humans
are smarter than others.
Or like if somebody has like a disability, kind of like a learning disability, or a defect, I guess. Some people might think they're better than that person because they have a disability.
Okay, what did we learn? What is the truth about life?
Somebody want to like summarize it or something?
We learned that people don't realize like what they're doing is wrong until like they experience that actual thing. Like for example, this guy was fishing like every night, and I guess he harmed fish, and not until like he actually experienced like what the fish sort of go through. That was when he realized like what he was doing is wrong. That's when he put the fish back in the water. So it sort of symbolized like what he learned.
also learned that people like to have, they act superior over other people because they want maybe control over them. Like it says over here in the end of the book, there's a plane flying and it sailed, and there was a symbol of man's proud mastery over nature. And it's kind of ironic because in this whole story, nature won against man. So I think that people, no matter how hard they try, they can't have control over everything around them. There's only some things that are just beyond our reach.
So,
what do we learn about like life? You want to summarize for us? Yeah.
What you guys have been saying?
Yeah.
Can't really do that. Not gonna lie.
Okay, everyone can just add something, I guess. Just one thing.
okay, so Amarpreet was saying that, that it's ironic because in the story, nature basically won against man, although man thinks they're better than nature.
Yeah.
And like,
Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
Okay, so we learned that no matter how hard we try, there's just some things that we can't always control. That I think humans aren't meant to control everything, and we need a balance with nature,
Yeah.
something like that.
oh, and also, like, some superiority comes with like race. It's like some, I guess, some like two typical races, like black and white people. Like white people might think they're better than black people, and that's just like an example of people who think they're superior and who they're like people are the same, so they probably should think that.
Would you like to say anything?
Not right now at the moment. Oh, thank you.
Would you like to say anything, Chesney?
Shut up. Did we just summarize?
We're like summarize. Okay,
Okay,
so
so okay, what do we learn? So we
our
noticed-
question was why people act superior over others.
Yes.
Was that the question?
Yeah, and then our answer. What was our answer?
Well, we talked about how they think they're smarter than
Yeah, so like
us.
intellectually,
Yeah.
and I guess physically too.
Yeah.
Because like if somebody's physically like stronger or bigger, then they might think they're better than someone. Like if someone has like a physical defect, they might think, oh, you can't do it, or you're not strong enough. So that they also make them seem better.
Yeah, and our examples were, like you said about dictators and how they think they're better than all their people. And your example that you gave about black and white people, how white people think they're
Better,
better.
yeah.
And what do we learn?
Why do people behave that way?
Why do people behave that way?
Because I guess it's just like what they're like. I guess it's just humans, like they're born to think that way. Like,
Yeah, it's human nature.
It's
'cause, like,
natural.
no humans like want to consider themselves equal. Like it
Or
always has
less
to be,
than another.
Yeah, or less. They always want to be greater than someone else or another kind of species. And what do we learn about life?
That humans are not meant to rule over everything.
Yeah.
Sometimes nature wins.
And in this case, they did win, sort of. Almost.
Almost. They like taught
Yeah.
humans a lesson.
They taught him a lesson, not all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, and that's it.
Okay. Bye.